American dream come to life. Luxury disposable sheets. Have you read about these? The View, the Today Show, it's been everywhere. Folks, when you go camping, when you go traveling, your kid's in college and they don't want to wash the sheets, how about something as an alternative? If you are always wanting to be sure that it's hygienic when you get into the bed, this is the best solution you've ever seen in your life. And when we say luxury disposable, we mean it. These can last you up to 2 weeks or until they start to pill. They are one of the biggest hits, and we are thrilled that we are here on ground level. Bob, you found this amazing company, these amazing people. What a great idea.
It's a wonderful idea, and it's called Beantown Bedding, and I want you to meet the co-inventor along with Kirsten Lambert. Please meet Joan Ripple. Come on in, Joan. Good to have you here.
Good to see you.
Welcome to the show. Please meet Adam Freeman.
Adam. Thank you for having me.
Beantown Bedding. I've got to tell you, when I awakened this morning, I did not think I need to buy some disposable sheets.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
However, once you start thinking about it, all the different uses, and there's a look at you and Kirsten, right?
Oh, yes, when we first started.
But once you start thinking about it, whether you're traveling or you know, for the pets or for, I mean, so many uses, but we want to hear it from you. First of all, how did you come up with this?
Well, Kirsten and I came up with this idea after we learned that our kids in college never took the time to wash their dirty sheets.
It's sad but true.
Everybody can understand that, yes. But since then, you know, there are so many other uses, like you had said, Adam, before.
And that's the reality. So what we're going to do tonight, as we get settled into this, is there how many of these are available, right? Okay, we have 1,000. All right, so we're going to go a little bit faster. Obviously, a lot of people pre-ordered, because I think we started with 1,600. Twin XL, full queen or king. Everybody pays the same price. When you go to Joan's website, you obviously pay different for the bigger sizes. We're going to do one flat price tonight. It's the lowest price anywhere. There are people who are caregivers that have raved about this product. There are people that do spray tans or use sunless tanning solutions that are fed up and tired of it staining the sheets that buy these. There are people out there that have pets that are sleeping with them. There are people out there that have kids, babies, like I have a 3-year-old who sleep with them sometimes. Many times, most nights actually. If that's you and you want to make sure that you protect your mattress, I mean, Joan, this is a great idea.
Well,
and they feel terrific.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah, they're luxury.
That's the beauty of it. You know, when you hear disposable, you think that it's going to not feel comfortable. But these sheets are made with a premium fiber called Tencel, which is eco-friendly. It is literally the wood pulp from eucalyptus plants.
Wow.
And so it's compostable, which is the beauty, because when you don't have to feel guilty throwing them away.
Right.
And they will go back to nature. Something that's compostable means there's no toxicity, so it's back to nature.
Right.
And they will last for days to weeks, and it is great for travel, vacation home, if you have a vacation home. But as I said, we started with college, and you know, everybody can relate to that.
We're looking at a basket right now. What are we looking at, Joan?
So this, every parent, grandparent would love to be able to send care packages to the kids in college. So here is a care package that's kind of health focused. So you have the clean sheets. So when those kids have midterms and finals, you know, and they don't have time to wash their sheets, and you don't want them sleeping on the dirty sheets, this is a perfect, convenient alternative for them.
And once again, Adam, it's not just, you know, use them once and throw them away. You can use them a number of times. And you will feel they'll start to pill up, and that will give you the idea that you need to dispose them at that time. I'm going to use them when I travel. I guarantee it.
We were talking about that.
I mean, you go into hotels nowadays, and you never know about the sheets. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you.
But now, put these down, and that is peace of mind.
I'll tell you the biggest shock is when you receive these and you feel these.
Yes.
It's hard to imagine. Until I felt them, I didn't quite know what to expect. In fact, I'll be honest with you, you'll feel it and you'll say, hang on, did they send me the right thing? These are disposable sheets. When we say luxurious, we mean luxurious. They're fantastic. So I know we're only 2 minutes or sell out. If you want the king or the queen, I have about 100 left in each at this stage. If you want the twin XL, we're down to the I've lost Cal King, so California King completely sold out.
Wow.
If you want the Twin XL, we're down to about 3 dozen as well. One and only presentation on HSN is right now. You get our 30-day money-back guarantee, don't forget. Kids at college, if you don't think your son is changing or washing his sheets as often as he should do, this could be a great solution. If you're very much concerned when you travel, when you're in hotels, you know, a lot of people